Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And the content that I'm about to show you is all the details that are leaking out around the shooting that killed 4 law enforcement officers. Yeah, you know that felon in Charlotte, North Carolina? This is not looking good. We've got things like 9 pages of printed out rap sheets. We've got full auto. We have felons in possession, and also a prior history of where he should have been arrested. Everything that I'm about to show you is going to be linked in the description box below. And before we even get any further, understand the exact same people who are telling you that we don't need our gun rights are the same people that are enabling this type of judicial behavior. This is something that we need to talk about. So make sure you spread this video out, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. And I want to run some of the content here through our sponsor, Ground.News. All right, check out one of the articles we covered earlier today. This is from CNN. It leans to the left, 331 sources, which has been updated to 360 now. And there's a little bit of a middle ground center focus here. But if you look at the right and the left from CNN, this is lean left, shows you it's owned by Warner Brothers. And then on the right side, The Blaze, which is independent media, which is focused on the right. The important thing that I wanted to show you here, and you can get this for yourself, by the way, at ground.news/Langley. Subscribe through my link for 40% off unlimited access, which is what I use to see data ownership like this. Or you can even try it for less than $1 this month. Everything is shifting to the right on the bias distribution. Do you see that? It's almost like more of the things that are oriented towards gun rights and actual freedoms are picking up steam. See how it's shifting? That's the power. So make sure you check it out. Link in the description box below. And thank you to them for sponsoring this content. But now, my brothers and sisters, let's get into this. I've got 5 clips. And look at the most recent developments coming out of this bad boy. Again, these are the people telling us that we need to get rid of our gun rights. Here we go. First piece of evidence.
Officers, when they went to make the arrest and encountered this individual, he had a high-powered automatic rifle that he was able to start open fire on our officers. And then as others responded to try to save the officers that were down, they were also hit with gunfire as well. So,
high-powered automatic rifle. Okay, well, if you are not familiar and you're new to the gun world, automatic rifles are behind something called the National Firearms Act, or the NFA. This requires an enhanced background check, a waiting period, and a tax stamp to have anything full auto. Okay, that's not what happened here because this guy was a felon. The warrant that they were seeking was literally for felon in possession of a firearm. So the odds of him being approved for an NFA are about 0. So this is an illicit, illegal NFA item. I'm still waiting on the part where gun control would solve the problems because the same people who would let them out are the same people who would be telling us that we don't need our guns. All right, let's continue. I'm going to show you a few more things about what a local news source found after we hear from the chief. Listen to this because a reporter sets it up really well. Interesting how this comes out in different areas, right? Check this out.
One of the questions I'm hearing from the community right now is this person who's accused of killing these officers, should he have been out on the streets? So I'm trying to answer that. We looked at his criminal history, and even just in Mecklenburg County found many charges that have been dismissed, including fleeing and eluding arrest, possession of marijuana up to a ½ ounce, driving with a revoked license, maintaining a vehicle going in place of a felony charge that was also dismissed. Does any of that point to a larger problem in the criminal justice system?
Well, let me say this. I know this individual did serve a significant amount of time in jail and had been released, but I can give you hundreds of examples of people that I feel like should not be out preying upon our citizens. And I've been pretty vocal about that, particularly with juveniles.
Interesting. So the police chief, who is giving a briefing on the shooting that just occurred of the law enforcement officers, which 4 were killed, tragically, he says he knows of hundreds of people who should not be out in the streets victimizing and preying upon civilians, citizens. After a journalist asked him, hey, we have all of these charges, felonious activity, driving without a license, over a pound of marijuana with intent to distribute, all of these things, is our justice system broken? Intentionally, I might add, but you know what? That's just speculation in order to particularly drive up the violent crime in order to get more rights from people. Like, that's a theory. We'll just put it out there as a theory, all right? So that's the question. But now what we're going to do is we're going to bounce over to a local news report because they found some very fascinating things. 3 clips from the local news report. Again, these are the same people who enable what we're about to show you, telling us that we don't need our gun rights. The gun controllers, the media, the vice president, the president, all of them. They're enabling this and then using the catastrophic results to take away rights from us. All right, here we go. Check this out.
So much of the outrage we're hearing is that this man had such a lengthy record. And just to kind of give you an example, I have 9 pages worth of court cases throughout North Carolina. At a minimum, I'm suspecting there are a couple more. You know, we know from what police have said that they were trying to serve some warrants out of Lincoln County. And I've been on the phone throughout the day with both Lincoln County and another county's clerk trying to make some sense of, okay, what was this warrant? Why did it originate there? It was for possession of a firearm by a felon.
Why was he in Charlotte?
That's a great question, and we're really curious about that because he was arrested in Charlotte in 2021 during the pandemic. He had some charges there that were eventually dismissed, tied to marijuana, fleeing, eluding arrest.
Okay, 9 pages of court cases. Are you guys picking up a theme at home? All the things that we're covering? The most vulnerable among us and the most exposed among us are being impacted the most by I can never remember the word. Restorative justice. There we go. Restorative justice, which means the entire justice system lets people out when they shouldn't be out, preying upon our citizens, just like the chief just said. 9 pages of court documents. Years of arrest for felony possession of a firearm. He's been out for 3 years, and now he's killed 4 officers, or law enforcement. There's some are marshals, some are not. So you start to tell me when gun control starts to take effect, when this restorative justice turns out to be a good thing for our population, because we've got multiple different scenarios we've covered. We're going to cover a lot of it. The 68-year-old woman who got thrown off some stairs in New York from a kid. We got the cop that got killed in New York. We got the cop that got killed in Memphis. We have the invisible mass shooting. All of these things that we're going to cover are all based off of releasing people without consequence and accountability. And people are dying. This is not about gun control. This is about letting people out without accountability. 9 pages of court documents. Okay, maybe that wasn't enough to convince you. I understand. Let's dive into the second clip here. Maybe there's something else we can find.
And he has quite a lengthy kind of court history in that area. I should tell you that he had a court date last year for a charge out of Person County. And I want to make sure I get this absolutely right. It originated in 2021. Remember, the Mecklenburg County cases originated in 2021 too. And this was for possession of a firearm by a felon and possession of marijuana. He didn't show up to court. So he was wanted. Number one, there's an arrest warrant for him, we know, out of Person County for that specific issue. And who knows if they were able to find him, what would have happened. I mean, look at our court system right now, how delayed things are. And I'm still trying to get some bond documents, too, to figure out if there were concerns, if this man was a flight risk. I'll tell you, too, there's a reason he's a felon to begin with. 2009, convicted of breaking and entering, among many other things, in Alamance County. That's east of Greensboro. Our sister station up there, our contact partner, WFMY, reported that he led police on a high-speed chase.
High-speed chase. Marijuana use and with intent to distribute. Felonious possession of a firearm by a felon. Did not show for a court date 3 years ago for the exact same thing that he had the warrant was being served today, or actually yesterday rather. I'm still waiting on the point where restorative justice and gun control working together in this magical amalgamation creates this utopian society, which does not exist. The reason that this is so important to cover and all of these things together, because in our gun rights versus gun control fight, we consistently have said it will do nothing. What you are doing is setting up the most vulnerable for victimhood. That's exactly what we are seeing over and over and over again. You want to destroy gun control forever, like a lot of you do on this channel? highlighting these types of things and putting these things all together in big presentations like this are how we defeat gun control forever, because it does not make sense on any level. This is a felon who had a warrant out, who didn't show up for court after he was being pursued for having a firearm as a felon for 3 years. They finally catch up to him, and he kills 4 law enforcement officers. Where are you at, gun controllers? What's up? Because your theories and your outlook on life are falling on reality. Anyway, one more thing for you, because this stuff just makes me angry, to be honest with you, and we've got enough evidence now over the past 6 months to nuke this from orbit. Let's continue. Last clip.
I point to, if they had arrested him on that outstanding charge kind of north of Durham, would he have even gone to trial? But maybe he would have been held in the jail there while he was awaiting trial. It's hard to say. We're still trying to figure out a lot of this. And I'll tell you, many of his prior charges were dismissed as well. And I think some people are angry about that. A lot of times it comes down to evidence. If prosecutors have evidence in these cases, do they have cooperating witnesses? Are these cases that they're pursuing, some of his Mecklenburg County charges, for example, where marijuana charges? And I've reported extensively that the DA has said, I'm not going to go after these Mecklenburg County marijuana charges.
That's weird. DA's not enforcing the law. Would he have been off the streets if they enforced the law that was written on the books? Because it's their choice to enforce it, right? So he's just not going to do it in Mecklenburg County. Would this guy have not killed 4 law enforcement officers if you had done your job? If you had actually enforced the law as it was written? But no, you got some other agenda going on. And now I haven't done the research of this actual DA, so I can't make accusations of it. But it does strongly sniff of some very nefarious activities which are culminating in the death of people. That's what I've got for you guys. I can't wait for more of this, because we have got a lot more that we're going to tie together. Make sure you are subscribed. Stay tuned, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.